Welcome to Business Success Tips, where you learn to make more money in less time and have a lot more fun. That's the most important part. I'm your host, Paul Sanneman. I'm founder of Contractor Staffing Source, where we help contractors build great teams. My guest today is Steve Wheeler from Remodelers Advantage. You guys have been around for a long time, right, Steve?
Yes, very long time.
How many years is it actually?
So we officially were founded in 1982 by Linda Case, and she's a prominent figure in the remodeling industry. But our main flagship program came about in the early 90s, our Roundtables peer group program.
Okay. So explain to the audience what Remodelers Advantage does, why you should join, and the upside of being a member.
So there's a lot there, but so broad brush, we are consultants to the remodeling industry. So a lot of people, when they go into business, they have a trade, whether they're a project manager, they're a carpenter, they're a designer, they want to go out on their own. They know how to build a home, they know how to make spaces beautiful, but who knows how to read a balance sheet? Who knows how to read a P&L? Who knows how to manage people, to hire people, and to reinvest in a company? And that's where we come in. And through this, our consulting framework, a number of different ways we try to help people build a better business to provide them a better life, right? So we want people to be able to run a business, be able to estimate better, charge for what they're worth, and really make money doing what they're good at and doing what they love. So we help them increase the performance, and most importantly, an important thing that's often looked over in remodeling and construction businesses, which is profits. And pretty important thing that we really focus on getting people to make more money within their business.
Okay, so you also have roundtables and stuff, don't you, where they can get peer group
Yep.
peer
So
work?
within this consulting framework, we try to help remodelers in a number of different ways. We've got a lot of content that we put out. We have one-on-one coaching and consulting, but our flagship main program is our Remodelers Advantage Roundtables program. And that's a peer group where we take companies that are above 1.5 million in annual revenue all the way up to 30 plus million. And we put them into a group of peers, which are other companies that are in non-compete markets. So it's all represented by business owners, and they get together twice a year in person for 3 days. And they openly share they're transparent with all of the information of their company. So P&L, balance sheet, all of the financials, state of the company address, the org chart. There's also a couple other documents that we ask for, but we put these together. And in preparation for the meeting, they study the other companies as if they were a board of directors, and they come prepared to offer feedback, constructive criticism at times, but it's all cloaked in a level of respect and care for each other, where they're actively working to help each other improve using their own experience and best practices. And we benchmark their performance within the group. These meetings are run by our roundtables facilitators, which we have this incredible core group of facilitators that run the meetings, and they're really focused on managing the pace agenda of the meeting, but they will make sure that people are, you know, participating, giving proper feedback, that things are done, out of respect. And that's usually not too hard to referee, but they also will give feedback because our facilitators are usually either current members, previous roundtables members, and many times current business owners.
So I would say this is sort of like, Builder 20. This is the best remodeling roundtable for home remodeling companies. Would you agree as far as
Yeah,
what's on?
so I'm biased, but yes, I would agree that for design build remodeling firms, this is really the premier place to um, not only to learn from each other, but to really be pushed to work outside of your comfort zone as a business owner to increase the overall performance and achieve greater success in the business.
Well, my experience is that most remodelers don't know many other remodelers, right? They just, for some reason, they don't want to share the secret sauce, and it doesn't happen that often. And so probably the best way for people to learn is from other people in the industry. I mean, I've been a coach forever, and sometimes it's hard to get people to listen, right? Whereas,
But not within their market, right? A lot of people are guarded within their market if there's competition involved, in terms of sharing best practices and helping other contractors. So
right.
yes.
So this gets people out of their market that are successful, that they can trust to give them solid advice on what works. It's not theoretical. It's, I did this in this market and it worked. You have a similar market to mine. I'm in Kansas and you're in Ohio, but it's still going to work.
Yep.
And they get a lot out of it. So can you give me maybe some success stories, because you've been done this, of people that went to your roundtables and truly transformed their businesses?
Honestly, it's pretty endless in terms of the success stories. You know, people come into the program, they go out of the program. I've never heard somebody say this was a bad choice. I mean, almost everybody who comes in say this is probably the best decision I've made within my business. Um, Success in remodeling, success in business looks different, right? There could be a company that may not increase revenue, but they've increased their profit, they've increased their owner's compensation, and they've increased their vacation time from no days a year to 5 weeks per year. So there's incredible success there. There's also the success of companies, and I've known multiple companies that have come into roundtables at the $3 to $4 million revenue range and have exited or are still in many cases, in the 15 to 20+ million-dollar revenue range with profitable, a strong net profit there as
Right.
well. So, the success stories are wide ranging. Again, success, is broad, but really it's about achieving that greater success is being able to have a company that works without the owner involved. That's a big thing, adding value to your company through
Mhm.
repeat processes and systems. And that's a big piece of roundtables, is sharing those systems and processes. We joke R&D, rip off and duplicate, right? In so many cases, the processes and systems have been established and they're there. So, share them with each other, help each other
I'm
improve.
sure things like, which is, I don't know, job trend better than builder trend, or should I use Procore? I mean, those are real systems. What CRM should I use? What marketing company should I use? But instead of getting the pitch from who's selling it, you're getting people that are actually using it and making it work, right?
Yes, yes, and that goes to sales tactics, that goes to marketing tactics, you name it, production systems. There's so many different variations of the way remodeling companies are set up. Is it, an architect-driven company, or they design build? And it's these little tweaks that give people just a tiny nuance that they can add into their company. That's was that missing link or that missing piece for many years prior to joining roundtables.
So I know it's a hard question to ask, but when can one expend on the ROI? As you know, contractors at our group are rather frugal. You probably discovered that. They spend their money wisely, for lack of a better term. So if I decide to join Roundtable, is there any? I mean, am I expected, like, oh, we make 5 times what I spend you? I mean, you sure you've run some numbers on it. What would be typical if I'm going to spend? I'm picking a number, 20,000 with you or whatever it is to go these things. What do you think I can expect in return? You must have some numbers on that.
Yeah, so we you could break it down into many different ways. I mean, we're always looking for someone to be able to quantify a 10x return on their investment in roundtables.
Mhm.
And if you look at slippage alone, and slippage is the estimate to actual difference of what a project comes in on. If I estimate a project to be $100,000 and it's $110,000, then I have a certain percentage of slippage within,
Right,
that estimate. So, in really, really well-run companies, slippage can be 2% of revenue. And
right,
that's in well-run companies. And it can be upwards of 5 to 10%. So if you're a $4 million company and you've got 5 to 10% slippage, we're looking at upwards of $300 to
Basically,
$500,000 in
you lose all
slippage.
your profit in slippage, right? Because if you're lucky,
Yes.
you're netting
Yes.
10% when it's all said and done.
Yep.
So if your slippage is 10%, instead of netting percent, you net zero, right?
Exactly. And that's just the one metric of slippage. It's also estimating properly, right? And knowing your labor burden, knowing what your actual costs are within your company, how to properly mark up, your projects. All these things are gonna, just checkpoint after checkpoint, gonna add the ability to make, stronger financial decisions and changes within your business.
Well, I mean, there's no silver bullet, but I would assume the best place to learn is from people that have successfully executed something, right?
That's the way that we've seen it work.
So tell me this, I'm a remodeling contractor, design build, and I don't know, pick a number, I'm in Kansas City and I do 5 million. What does it look like? I go once a year. Give me the sort of logistics of how this works and I can participate.
Yeah, so we start with an onboarding program. And what we'll do first is we'll get an overall kind of baseline, right? We'll get a pulse of the business. Where do you stand today? And what are some of the biggest hurdles that you're facing right away? So we'll do a financial analysis and kind of get that baseline. And then you'll go through an onboarding program, which is a 6-week onboarding, and bring it into the program, set expectations, and teaching them how to get prepared for their meetings. And then we'll get them set into a roundtables group, and that's where they're able to really get in and start that process of getting in and participating in that 3-day meeting that I talked about.
Is that
And
once a year they do that or
it's
twice?
twice a year, so they'll meet once in the spring and once in the fall.
Okay. How many of those meetings you have going on? You must have a ton, right?
Yep. So we have well over 20 groups currently. And
Okay.
so in the spring and the fall, we've got groups meeting all around the country and in Canada at any given time.
Okay. And then you also do like a summit once a year, right?
Yep. So we have our Roundtable Summit, and this year we're holding that September 17th to the 19th in Denver, Colorado. And we still have registrations open. So anyone listening, I would really promote the fact that we have just really excellent abilities to network with other remodeling companies at this event, on top of the fact that we provide incredible education sessions throughout. But I really think that the core benefit of being there is to be around other like-minded business owners and people who are going through some of the similar struggles and successes that you may be going through as well. And we really set it up in a way that there's a lot of education. We have breakout sessions, keynote speaker, phenomenal content available, but also you're going to be around some of the top remodelers in the country.
So when does that happen this year?
So that's September 17th to the 19th. And again, that's at the Omni Interlaken in Denver, Colorado.
Okay. So if I'm considering joining Remodelers Advantage, it might be a way to get my feet wet, right? I can attend
It's
some.
a perfect place to get a sense of what we do and who we are, the people we are working with. And the summit is a great entry point for that.
Because I'm thinking a lot of guys don't want to pick the big lunch, but that's only a trip to Denver and a grand or something, so it's not a big deal, and they can get a real sense of what you guys do and how you do it, decide if they really want to join or not, right?
Correct. Yep. It's
Okay. Well,
we're really planning on a really fantastic event this year. Our registration event alone, we've got the really great party called the Casino Royale. So it's education. It's sitting in a room with a bunch of other like-minded remodelers, but we have a lot of fun as well in the evenings.
so I'm assuming if I want to meet the best remodelers in the country and have a conversation with them, there's no better place to be in Denver at that time, right?
I would agree. That's
And
you
because
said
what
it.
happens is, I call it a target-rich environment in a way, because a lot of these guys are really hard to get their attention and meet. But at these kind of events, and the problem with IBS is if it's so huge, they like have 100,000 people, like who can really meet? It's
You can
huge.
get lost into in the shuffle there. Great event, but it's big.
It's huge, and you can't really find specific those people. But yours is small enough where it's only like 300 or 400 people, so you can actually meet the people, get to know them, and have a pretty good shot of meeting some of the top remodelers in the country. Is that true?
That is very much true. And we do have an environment where we really do have people walking around, myself, Mark Rory, our vice president, our president, Victoria Downing, number of other associates at Remodelers Advantage. I mean, we're walking around, making introductions, helping people better network if that's not their natural inclination, in meeting people at events. And we really try to make people connected at this event.
And there's a lot of sponsors that probably have useful information and tools that they can use, right?
Absolutely. It's very strong in the marketing and software space. The past couple of years, we have other building product manufacturers try to get some of the most innovative and top-notch companies to put in front of our members and the attendees at the summit.
Okay, so I would recommend, I know what you're doing in December, but if you're remodeling, it's probably not better use of 3 days of your time than I can think of,
Now that would be September,
right?
that you would be at the summit, and then if you choose to join Roundtables, your meeting would be in October or November. But for the summit, it's September 17th and 19th through the
So
19th.
if they want to go to the summit, I mean, I'm sure we're going to have something below this podcast that they can register, but where should they go to register for the summit?
You can go to remodelersummit.com and you can
Okay,
register for the event right on there.
okay, that sounds great. And so besides the roundtables and the summit, what else does Remodelers Advantage do for remodelers?
So we have it's one of the benefits of joining Roundtables is the fact that every time you pay your dues, you're going to get a certain number of credits toward education. And that's a coaching, consulting, master classes. We just have endless amount of education and content for our members. So that's one way, is being a part of Roundtables. You'll be able to supplement your education and just be able to learn about additional sales materials, financials, through being a member. But even if you're not, we have a number of really strong consultants and coaches in every function of your business: sales, marketing, production, financials, you name it.
Okay.
And that can all be found on our website, remodelersadvantage.com.
Okay, so if you are in the remodeling industry, I can't think of any reason why you wouldn't be in Denver, and certainly check out Remodelers Advantage, because I've been in this industry, God knows, 50 years, a long time. And I I would say that you guys have a stellar reputation in the industry as far as doing good work with good people. I've known you for years, and I would say you're definitely the best at what you do.
Well, I appreciate that. We think so, but we really do care the fact that there's a lot of business owners, specifically remodeling business owners out there, spinning their wheels, and I was one of them. I'm a recovering remodeler, as you would say. Wilmington, Delaware. I had a company for 12 years and found out about Remodelers Advantage because one night I was doing an estimate at midnight, and I can still remember just thinking there has to be a better way. There has to be I mean, I was working all hours of the night, and I Googled how to run a successful remodeling company, and there, boom, a video from Victoria Downing popped up. And many years later, after making a couple personal choices and started having kids and a family, I ended up closing down my business for just the fact that I needed a change, and ended up coming to Remodelers Advantage. So that one Google search changed it all. But
Yes.
that was the goal for me, is, there's not really a remodeling business owner MBA that you can get. It's really done through school of hard knocks, failure. You're always going to pay for some sort of education, and a lot of that's in mistakes, but we try to get rid of a lot of those
More
mistakes.
expensive, Steve, than the School of Hard Knocks, right?
Say that again.
Nothing's more expensive than the
Oh,
School of Hard Knocks.
yes, I have
You
many
can spend
MBAs.
100 grand in 1 year and not even think about it, right? It's very expensive.
Oh yeah, I have many MBAs and wasted dollars, but not
Right.
wasted. Education.
Education, but no matter what you learn from it, but sometimes it's the most expensive way to learn is from your mistakes. The
Oh,
cheapest
yeah.
way to learn from other people's mistakes.
That
So
is it. That's what we do.
cool. Well, thank you for being here, Steve. I appreciate it. I would suggest you guys check out Remodelers Advantage. I also think you should go to Denver because it'd be really good use of your time. And below this podcast, there'll be information on how you can register and get there. Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate your time, Steve.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.